time is now. The brand is Flex, and Flex, it's what's next. Welcome to the Flex Face-Off. I'm Barnaby, and I'm excited to be with you here today to share the story of Flex and how this future-focused brand is positively going to be the next leader in the professional power tool industry. Flex, it's a company whose legacy of innovation and performance stretches back many a decade, and yet you may not have ever heard of Flex. So, to tell us more about the history of Flex and the mission that drives the company forward, I'd like to introduce you to CEO Mike Clancy and CMO Joe Turoff. How you guys doing?
Barnaby, how are you?
Hey, Barnaby. It's amazing what people are going to see here today. It's going to change the way they think about work on the job site. Right?
Hey, I'm stoked about today. Today is the day that we finally get to introduce the new Flex. Flex was founded in 1922, almost 100 years ago in Stuttgart, Germany. You know, every great power tool name can trace their roots back to a first. 100 years ago, we changed the world of tools with our very first invention, the flexible shaft grinder. And then we followed that up in 1954 with the introduction of the world's first angle grinder. Since then, Flex has been focused on high-quality finishing tools, grinders, sanders, polishers, and cutters for stone, concrete, and metal. Some of the most demanding applications for any power tool. Our mission today is clear: design and develop the most innovative tools made for the trades.
So, Flex does have a long, rich history of making professional-grade tools for the trades, but you know, Joe, we're in the here and now. What is going to make Flex the standout tool on the job site of today?
Well, Barnaby, as you know, we were one of the world's first to make professional-grade power tools driven by advanced lithium-ion battery technology, and did it over 15 years ago. And I'm thrilled to announce that this May, Flex will launch a complete platform leveraging our state-of-the-art 24-volt lithium-ion battery technology exclusively at Lowe's.
All right, Joe, so let's talk about it. What makes Flex a better choice for the pro? And in answering that question, let's make some hard comparisons to the common tools that are found on the job site of today.
So it's all about the system. And our new 24-volt platform delivers 20% more power than the typical Pro 18-volt platform. We also last 25% longer.
So what I'm hearing from you guys is this isn't incremental improvement. This is disruptive technology. So let's talk about that.
Absolutely. First, let's talk Power IQ. It's the brains in our batteries and motor, and it's unlike any other. Lithium-ion is what we do and what we're known for, and this system has been optimized for the most extreme applications, the most extreme scenarios. Second, our patented Thermatec technology keeps our batteries working when all other brands quit. And Thermatec draws the heat away from the cells, allowing Flex packs to stay cool where others will overheat. And third, our new Flex platform features our state-of-the-art sensor-free brushless motors, delivering the absolute best in power, durability, and control.
So Joe, what I'm hearing is you've taken out all of the stuff, the sensor, that might normally break in a brushless motor, making it more bulletproof, and the pro has got to love that.
Exactly. Our tool and batteries are filled with sensors, but where they need to be, not where we put them 10 years ago. This new design allows us to build a tool that's either more compact or more powerful. And in either case, the result is a tool that's more durable and much easier to control.
With all that power, I'm sure you guys have thought about the end user, because they are holding on to the tiger by the tail now, right? Extra power. Let's talk about the user interface. How is Flex different there?
Many of our tools feature Shock Shield anti-vibration technology. Shock Shield isolates and diffuses much of the tool's vibration so the pros can use them comfortably all day long.
So I can hear the pros' wheels turning in their heads saying, yeah, all day long, that is if the battery lasts and I can charge them quickly. So we've established it's a super long running battery, But what about the quickness of the charger, Joe?
So our chargers are just as advanced as the tool, the motor, and the battery platform. And thanks to a dual fan, yes, 2 fans, along with Charge IQ, we're able to recharge up to 50% faster than the top competitor and do it safely without impact to the life of the battery.
So, what you guys are both telling me is this is more than incremental industry improvement. It is true disruption. With the introduction of this Flex line of tools, you're changing the way pros are going to think about battery-powered tools. And honestly, having personally interviewed more than 3,000 job site pros, I know that more than anything else, they want unrelenting power that's going to last them the whole day. And moreover, they want performance and tools that will get the job done fast and efficiently. And because of that bottom line, they want tools that are going to last for years and years.
Exactly, and you'll get all that and more with Flex. Our standard warranty is already the best in class. 5 years end-to-end on tools, batteries, and chargers. But we want to reward those who trust us in this early journey of the new Flex. We'll back our words with a warranty you can trust. We're offering a Flex Founders lifetime warranty with registration. That's right, a lifetime warranty on all Flex 24-volt tools, chargers, and batteries purchased now through December 31st, 2021. So by adopting early, you get unparalleled protection.
And you know, that is a question always asked on the job site or in the aisles. What's the warranty, right? And when you can proudly say, I got the lifetime warranty, they're gonna go, what? How did you do that? I was an early adopter. You know, it's clear that Flex hasn't been around 100 years by following the pack. A 5-year end-to-end warranty on tools, batteries, and chargers. This speaks volumes to the confidence that you guys have in the materials, the engineering, the technology, the power of Flex tools. But enough talk. How about some tool testing action by the very pros they're going to be buying and using Flex? You guys up for it?
We'll leave it to you, but before we go, I just want to say that today is the beginning of an exciting new chapter here at Flex. We'll continue to roll out tool after tool, innovation after innovation. This platform will grow to over 100 tools very quickly, and that's something you guys won't want to miss.
Up next, the face-off, Flex versus the competition.
My name is Lawan, and I am a carpenter by trade, and I've been working in carpentry professionally for over 15 years. Now, unprofessionally, through apprenticeship of your fathers and grandfathers, I've been doing that my entire life. I'm very, if you could say, pleased to know that Flex is seeking out professionals to do these tests, because you have to have a knowledge of how the tool is truly to work, not just what someone says, but through experience.
My name's Jesse Favela. I'm a commercial carpenter. Been doing commercial carpentry for about 10 to 11 years. As a professional, the tools I rely on the most is definitely the circular saw, my impact driver, and my grinder. Using Flex tools for a while, something that stands out about the tools is definitely the battery life.
So another day on the job site. What are you gonna do? Probably make a lot of holes, right? Whether it's pushing utilities through or making holes for HVAC, you gotta reach for the drill driver, but which one? I gotta tell you, the Flex 24-volt, half-inch, 2-speed drill driver is gonna impress you beyond belief because it's got best-in-class torque and speed. Let's break it down for you. Torque, which is the muscle of the moment, right? An impressive 750 inch-pounds of torque. And at 2,200 RPMs in speed too, not only are you gonna get into the material, but right out the other side real quick. We gotta ask the pros, right? What is it when it comes to a drill driver are you looking for, Luan?
Well, I really appreciate a tool that doesn't fight you. When you got one foot on a ladder wrong, the last thing that you want is to be doing more work than the tool.
So you wanna pull the trigger and just let the tool do the work?
And let it take care of it.
Yeah, what about you, Jesse?
Like you said, power and speed.
Okay, because time is money, right?
Right.
When you pick up the tool, you wanna say, come on, you can do it. It's just like, let's do it, right?
Less amount of effort, the better.
All right, now it's time for the Flex face-off. We're gonna be loading up a 1-inch spade bit and driving it through a king stud. Man, that wasn't even close, huh?
Not even close.
All right, Jesse, tell me about your experience with the Flex 24 volt.
It's smooth. You really feel the power once the bit grabs the wood. You can feel the drill power its way through, and it's quick.
That's what you were looking for when we talked about what's important with a drill driver for you, right? It's got to be smooth, got to be able to get the job done.
Yep.
And to drill down on the fairness of the test, I will say that, Luan, your tool is currently one of the most popular half-inch two-speed drill drivers on the job site, beaten handily by the Flex 24 volt half-inch two-speed. Drill bits, 1-inch spade, exactly the same. And if you thought that was impressive on the part of Flex, wait until you see our turbo version of that drill.
Now, I've been using these new Flex tools for about 2 weeks, and they truly are a night and day difference. The motors feel like cutting butter. I truly am excited to now just sit down and do one-on-one, head-to-head.
You never know really what you're going to face when you show up on the job site. You could be drilling holes for anchors all day long, or suddenly you got to be punching holes in steel, and there is no drill that has more speed or torque than the Flex half-inch two-speed drill driver with turbo. Thanks to the high-power sensor-free brushless motor, it's going to give you an industry-leading 1,400 inch-pounds of torque at 2,500 RPMs. And when the accessory hits something that's not going to give, it has anti-kickback technology. Okay, the test today is we're going to be loading these drills up with an 18-inch long, 1.5-inch bore auger. Long bit, right? Pushing it into cedar. We put a piece of white tape at the very end of the tool right here, and when you bury that white tape, you're the winner. So, let's see how it all goes. That wasn't even a fair fight, was it? Tell me about the experience, Luan. How did it feel?
It really felt like it was pulling the drill through. It's a lot of power, a lot of torque, and it works with you.
Right, and you said it was important to you that the drill does the work.
It
that
does
you're
the
not
work for you.
just the one doing all the work. The tool's supposed to do it, right?
Indeed, that's what you have the tool for.
Alrighty, and so just for fairness of fight here, both working off 5 amp hour batteries, both in speed 1, which is the high torque speed, but the Flex 24 volt turbo has the advantage of turbo. By simply pressing that button, you get 25% more speed at the same torque. And so, if you're making money on the job site, which tool do you choose?
Oh, I'm gonna grab this Flex.
So, let's see how the tool performed in real-world circumstances out on the job site.
Hello, this is Travis Collins, Tools by Design on social media, Instagram and YouTube mainly. And what we have here is the new Flex lineup. This is awesome. I've got a handful of the tools I've been using a month now. This is the Flex 24 volt turbo brushless drill driver, available in hammer drill as well. On turbo mode, you're gonna get 2,500 RPMs with 1,400 inch-pounds of torque. That is just massively impressive. You can just hear it. So we can just go ahead and all the power you need to just blast through those holes, and that was in turbo mode on speed 2. Now, the chuck, Jacob's all metal chuck, carbide jaws. We can throw in even a big 2 9/16 hole bore. It's just too easy, and of course, if you get that kickback, the drill automatically stops to save you. Pretty awesome. All the power you need right there.
Hammer drills. What are you looking for in a hammer drill, Luan?
Oh, impact and speed is everything. Because when I show up on a job site, I'm not there to anchor one thing. I'm anchoring 50, and I need to get in and get it done.
How about you, Jesse?
Like Luan said, speed is everything, but you want a drill that's gonna power through the aggregate when you get to that point.
Getting the job done. All right, well, let's talk about it. The Flex 24 volt, half-inch, 2-speed hammer drill has got all that and more. It dominates in 3 crucial areas. We're talking power, speed, and size. Again, the high-power, sensor-free brushless motor provides 750 inch-pounds of torque, 2,200 RPMs in speed too, 35,200 impacts per minute in hammer mode, making it one of the fastest and most powerful hammer drills in the market. So the test today on the Flex Face-Off is going to be a 1/4-inch masonry bit into a cinder block with Portland cement. The way it's gonna go is light the tool up, bury the bit into the block, pull it out, pound the drill down onto the table, winner takes all. Well, that really tells a story about the power of Flex, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, tell me about the experience using the tool.
Well, you can really feel those impacts. I mean, you can hear it scream. And when I got to anchor 40, 50 things into some concrete, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's your job day in and day out. You don't want it to take forever, right?
Indeed.
Okay, so let's talk about the parameters of the face-off, right? So we did use the exact same bits. We're talking 1/4-inch masonry bits into cinder block filled with Portland cement. And the clear winner was?
Flex.
By far, right?
Indeed.
All right, now if you thought that was a good demonstration of power and performance, let's put the tool that you were using, Jesse, once again, one of the most popular tools on the job site today, up against the Flex top-of-the-line turbo hammer drill. What we have here is the Flex half-inch, 2-speed hammer drill with turbo. With the turbo button, a simple press of that button gives you 25% more speed at the same torque. Turbo mode, 2,500 RPMs, 40,000 impacts per minute, and industry-leading torque at 1,400 inch-pounds. And when you have all that power in your hand and you're putting it into masonry, it's got anti-kickback technology that stops the drill fast when the accessory stalls so you can work with confidence. So the Flex Face-Off, here's the parameter. We're loading it up with a 3/8-inch masonry bit into a cinder block with Portland cement. That's what's filling it. The plan is to bury the bit and then pull it out, drill down on the table, winner. Tell me about that fight. How'd it go for you?
Smooth. You really feel the drill doing the work. You don't have to put a lot of pressure on it.
Hands down, a clear winner.
Hands down, yeah.
That's got to be the 40,000 impacts per minute. You got the turbo, obviously, just the fastest, most powerful hammer drill on the market.
You could definitely feel the power in it.
Clear winner?
Clear winner, didn't stand a chance.
Let's check in with the guys at ProTool Reviews. They're kind of tool scientists to see what they think about it.
I'm Kenny and this is Clint from ProTool Reviews. We've been around since 2008 reviewing and comparing tools so that construction pros, remodelers, and even serious DIYers know which tools rise to the top.
Yeah, we use a combination of scientific and real-world testing to kind of give you an idea of where each tool fits in the landscape of options that you've got as a consumer.
If there's one tool we've handled the most, it's gotta be the cordless hammer drill. When the Flex 24-volt model showed up at the ProTool Reviews shop, we jumped right in and got to work. We were immediately impressed with its speed.
Most drills top out around 2,000 or 2,100 RPM, but Flex does something unusual. It's got a turbo mode. That's a performance boost that you engage with a button at the base of the tool. In high speed, our tachometer showed it taking the Flex from 2,000 RPM to around 2,560 RPM. It also works with low gear, bumping the speed from 575 RPM to around 725.
It's not all about speed though. There's plenty of muscle to back it up, 1,400 inch-pounds worth, and that makes it one of the strongest hammer drills available. Now, we wouldn't say that unless we had actually tested it.
To do that, we wanted to see how that power translated into the real-world work of rough-ins. We chucked up a 2 9/16 inch self-feed bit to see what it can do in 2x4 studs. Not only did Flex chew through those holes without a problem, it did it in high gear. There isn't another drill we've run this test on that's been able to do that.
Most heavy-duty drills can complete this test, but only in low speed. Normally, you do this type of drilling with a bigger right-angle drill. But to make it even more impressive, we could drill these holes even more quickly by bumping up the drill into turbo mode.
Drilling with bits that big, that fast, comes with some risk. Using the side handle helps a lot, but it's the built-in kickback control that we're really excited to see. If the tool binds up while drilling, a sensor automatically stops the motor before it does major damage to your wrist or elbow.
Overall, we're seeing pro power, pro features, and class-leading performance in this tool. It's even more impressive when you consider it's a first-generation product.
Let's just say that all of us at ProTool Reviews are really looking forward to seeing how Flex performs on our YouTube channel during our time trial series.
Now let's go out to VCG Construction and see what they have to say.
Hey, I'm Vince, owner of VCG Construction, which is a general contractor with a focus in commercial retail construction, as well as a social media personality on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. And what's so impressive about this tool, the Flex 2-speed hammer drill with turbo, is it kind of blurs the lines of a hammer drill and a rotary hammer because the performance is so good. We've used this extensively, and we've even torture tested it with 1-inch masonry bits into 5,000 PSI concrete. I was astounded. I was so impressed by the performance of the tool. And the crazy part is, it's still compact compared to the competitors. Crazy.
My name is Mike. I am the Vice President of Caldwell Plumbing, and I've been doing that for about 16 years now. In a tool, I look for reliability, power, I look for speed, accuracy, and I look for a great warranty program.
My name is Joe. I'm a framer, and I've been framing for the past 10 years. When I'm on the job site, I use a reciprocating saw, circular saw, impact drill, hammer drill, everything needed to build a house or an apartment from the ground up.
The impact driver is one of the most versatile and go-to tools on the job site. If you want to drill, if you want to drive, if you want to fasten something, you know that the tool you're going to be reaching for is the impact driver. And so let's talk to Mike about this. On your job site, what's the most common application that you use the impact driver for?
As a plumbing contractor, we suspend pipe in concrete ceilings, concrete slabs, so the impact driver allows us to hang pipe, put our hangers in, and move on and keep going.
Yeah, overhead work, you want to make sure it gets done quickly,
Absolutely.
right? You don't want to wait for it to sink. All right, the impact driver is going to get the job done, especially this bad boy right here. We're talking about the Flex 24-volt, 1/4-inch hex impact driver. 24-volt, sensor-free, brushless motor inside provides 1,800 inch-pounds of torque at 3,400 RPMs. And with all that going on, we made it in a compact design because that's what the Job Site Pro told us they wanted in the tool. So we're gonna be putting the Flex against the most popular impact driver on the job site today. We're gonna be driving an 8-inch self-drilling screw into a 12x12 beam. So let's see what happens. What'd you think about the power, Joe?
Amazing power.
How's it compared to what you're currently using on the job site?
It's better than everything else we have.
Better than everything you have. Let's see how our top-of-the-line, industry-leading quick eject impact driver does.
I've been using the Flex tools for a month now, and what I really like about the tool, number one, is the power, along with the accuracy and the ability to use them on the move.
When you think about it, it's probably hard to remember when the impact driver wasn't the go-to tool on the job site because it does everything, right? From drilling to driving to sinking fasteners. And so let's talk to Joe here about what part the impact driver plays in your day-to-day life as a carpenter.
I just sheeted a barn yacht last week, and sheeting a metal roof, an impact driver is very important to be with you throughout the job and get it done and not have to change batteries. So a good battery life is great.
Yeah, and boy, you know what? With the Flexes, we're gonna find out it's got 50% faster charging and longer runtime than the competition. So there's an answer to your problem, right? The Flex 24-volt, 1/4-inch quick eject impact driver with multi-mode. Boy, there's a lot going on here, right? Let's break it down. Right off the bat, the quick eject. It is the industry's first patent pending quick eject. You simply press this button, so there's gonna be a time saver. As far as what's going on with the power of the drill, a powerful 24-volt brushless motor puts out an industry-leading 2,500 inch-pounds of torque and 4,000 RPMs. Extraordinary impact rate, 4,450 impacts per minute. The multi-mode, this has got 3 speeds that you can dial in for maximum control. Also, the self-tapping screw mode on this, it's got a sensitivity to it that is gonna save the day for you. So, the task at hand, 12-inch screw into a 12 by 12 cedar beam. Let's see who comes out on top. So, is there a clear winner?
Winner, winner, right here, Flex tool all the way.
Really? Decisive?
Very decisive. Went through this block of wood like butter. You know, I've been in construction for 15 years. I've never seen anything like it. I've got approximately 50 people working for me, and if I could buy 50 of these right now, I would.
I think you can, and you should. Okay, so the clear winner once again, the Flex Quick Eject with the multi-mode. I'm always interested to hear what Tim at Shop Tool Reviews has to say about the tool, so let's check him out.
I'm Tim Johnson with Shop Tool Reviews. We have a website, shoptoolreviews.com. You can also find us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all at Shop Tool Reviews. Now, we stay mainly in the automotive and mechanics world, as well as industrial fabrication and even metalworking, but we branch out into all sorts of tools, but it's all about tools all the time. Now, when Flex gave us the impact driver, the 1/4-inch impact with the quick eject, we were really curious to see what kind of power it would output. Now, we don't do the typical, driving deck screws and lag screws. That is important in many people's lives. However, we use these a little bit differently. We want to see, can it really break free some heavily torqued fasteners? So we put it on our test rig to see really how powerful it was. We started at 100 foot-pounds, went to 150, 200, all the way up to 500 foot-pounds. Now you'll see in here that we actually broke an adapter. We broke 2 adapters. One of those adapters have lasted more than 2 years. With every impact driver we have tested, it stood the test. This one broke it like at 200 foot-pounds or something, and then ended up breaking another one and then twisting the last one to break free 500 foot-pounds. Now, no other impact driver we've ever tested has broken free a 500 foot-pound torque fastener like this one. Now, we did have to put on the 5 amp hour battery because it did all that work with just a 2.5 amp hour battery. We were able to put the 5 amp hour on there, give it a little more oomph, and actually broke free that fastener. Now, the quick eject system is pretty unique in the fact you just push the button and then you can pull out the fastener and not have to worry about pulling a ring out or anything like that. We're really impressed with the power that this thing's putting out. Back to you, Barnaby.
Let's check in with the guys at ProTool Reviews.
We love testing impact drivers at ProTool Reviews, mostly because of how much you can do with them, but they're also just fun to test. Flex moved directly into the top tier of cordless impact drivers with its premium 24-volt brushless model.
And they've also made some pretty innovative moves. For example, right below the 1/4-inch hex collet, you've got this little button. It's the quick eject button. Instead of pulling out the collet to install or release your bit, just push the button. You never have to move your hand or set the tool down. It's pretty cool, right?
There's also some eye-popping performance built in. Topping out at 3,600 RPM, you get a monster 2,500 inch-pounds of torque. You may need some control with that much power, and Flex gives it to you with 3 standard speeds and 2 assist modes.
A high torque impact driver like this will snap 1/2-inch square adapters on our 33mm test rig all day long. But we can see how it translates that power to work by driving a series of 3/8-inch by 8-inch rugged structural screws into stacked OSB. Check out how confident this tool is driving that big of a screw.
And with the push of a button, you can take all that power and turn it into perfect control with the 2 assist modes. Designed for self-tapping screws, these can help you eliminate stripped, broken, and over-tightened fasteners.
One other thing we really like is how compact Flex made this tool. It's just 4 3/4 inches from tip to tail. One of the most compact models we've tested.
We're getting the ProTool Reviews test track set up so we can test this against the other top brands on the market. Keep your eyes on our YouTube channel for that video.
My name is Bami Dele. So what does it mean that a company like Flex or Flex is offering a lifetime warranty? So a few things. Being an engineer and a former pro athlete, First, precision, design, it all stands out to me. I am the worst possible customer for a company because I'm really, really critical and I'm really, really tough on tools and things because I expect a lot out of them if I'm gonna put my money into it. So when a company says, I'm gonna put a lifetime warranty on the product, my confidence level goes up because I know they're standing behind it, because I know they're putting their money where their product design is at the end of the day. So for me, if it's a product that offers a lifetime warranty versus one that doesn't, I'm looking at that product first and doing the inspection on it. And because I want to have the best in everything that I do, I want to be the best, I want to apply myself in the best way, this has to be the tool line for me.
In the workplace, there are high torque situations where you need solutions. And this is the Flex 24-volt, half-inch, high torque impact wrench with shock shield. So let me tell you about this tool. Amazing power, thanks to the 24-volt sensor-free brushless motor. As far as the nut-busting torque, 1,150 foot-pounds. And that's a lot of energy in your hand, right? And so in order to protect you from any sort of extreme vibration, we have the shock shield vibration suppression. I can show it to you right here. You can see how the motor and the hammer, that's where all the work is getting done, all the energy is being generated. This is actually on a floating mechanism that shields you from that. But even more importantly, from an investment point of view, it shields the electronics in the battery, which is the big dollar part of the tool, right? So as far as the speed control goes, you've got 3. It's got auto mode. And the second this tool senses in auto mode that the lug is now loose, it's gonna stop. It maxes out at 2,000 RPMs. Of course you want that sort of control. All right, so how about a demo to watch the tool in action? What we're gonna be doing here is busting lug nuts off of this truck tire, and Bamadeli, you're gonna be using the Flex high torque impact wrench to do it. So let's see how it goes. How was that?
Man, I can really feel the power in the tool without feeling the power from the tool. I mean, they've done a really good job at vibration isolation because when I pull the trigger, all the work goes right into the lug nut. So I don't have to worry about this thing kicking around and hitting somebody's rims and me trying to explain how my tool is so powerful that I scratched something that I shouldn't have scratched.
Right, that excuse doesn't fly.
It doesn't go over so well.
No. So there was a pronounced move as you're backing the lugs off. It was right? So you were actually, I mean, you could hear the auto in action. It was very, very considered. It wasn't just brute force, let the chips fall where they may. This was like getting the job done, but precise.
So not just the vibration isolation, it's the feedback that I'm getting from the tool.
Yeah.
It tells me when the job is done and I'm finished, so I don't make another mistake or something else with the tool. It's done. I know that without feeling all this vibration in myself to get that information from the tool itself.
Right.
That's well done.
So now you've used a lot of these wrenches, a lot of the high impact torque wrenches, right? So which one would you choose, do you think, based on the experience you've had? Others in your past or this one from the future?
I'm going with this one. They're all pretty powerful, but the vibration isolation is a really big deal, right? Because if I'm gonna have to use this 20 times a day, the more vibration I feel, the worse it's gonna be for me, the more fatigue, the more my wrist is gonna hurt. I don't feel it in this, so this has got my vote.
All right, smart choice. So we put the tool into the hands of Tim at Shop Tool Reviews. Let's see what he thinks.
Now, Flex gave us the 24-volt high torque impact wrench. When you're looking at a half-inch high torque impact wrench, there's really only one thing that matters, and that's pure power. When somebody's grabbing a high torque impact, it's to break something free, typically something that's got a lot of force put on it. So we immediately put it on our test rig to see how much power it actually has. Now, we've got 2 different style fasters on our test rig. One that goes all the way up to about 600, 700 foot-pounds. And then when we carry over to the larger fasters, that goes up to 1,200 foot-pounds. Now, we actually had to use our torque wrench combined with a torque multiplier to be able to tighten those last 4 fasteners, and we tightened them up to 1,000 foot-pounds. The last 2 were torqued to 1,000 foot-pounds. Now, this thing breezed right through every single one of them. And I say breezed, even on the last, 900 and 1,000 foot-pounds, it only took a few seconds for it to break those free. Very impressive for a 1/2" impact wrench. Now, any more than that, you definitely want to be stepping up to a 3/4 or 1" gun. So we were definitely impressed with this. Also, with the shock shield that's built into this, you can see in our slow motion here, you can see the impacts that it's absorbing by flexing here in the tool and not translating that, number one, through your arm, through your hand, also through the electronics that are in the tool. So it's not only gonna save your tool, it's also going to save that vibration from going through your arm and through your appendages. We were blown away by the performance of this impact wrench, and we can't wait to use it more. Back to you, Barnaby.
If you think about it, the Circ Saw provides a soundtrack for the job site. I mean, from a mile away, you can hear the job getting done with the blade spinning, right? Because you got to make the big wood smaller so it'll fit before you put it up. So let's talk to Joe right here. You've been a framer for how long?
10 years roughly.
Okay, so that's probably like your just first thing you do in the morning when you get out of the truck. It's like, where's my Circ Saw, right?
That's right.
What are you using it for?
Yesterday I was in the snow ripping a whole bunk of 1/2" OSB.
Really?
Yes.
What percentage of your day are you using a Circ Saw?
At least half the day.
Okay, what are you looking for in a saw?
Looking for power, something that'll get the job done, something I can depend on.
So problem solved, because we've got the Flex 6.5" inline circular saw. This completely redefines what a circular saw can do. It's lightweight, compact, powerful, but look at this. It's got a center blade orientation. What does that mean? It means that the motor is directly behind the blade. What does that get you? It is the world's first and only center-oriented blade where now you have a left and right sight line. So no matter which hand is your preferred hand, you can see the blade and cut a nice straight line. The power is amazing, a 24-volt, sensor-free brushless motor. Bevel capacity, 0 to 47 degrees. At 45, you can easily get through a 2x4. So to sum it up, superior visibility, balance, and control. So seeing is definitely gonna be believing on this, so let's break it down. We're gonna do a cross cut through 3x lumber. We're gonna go up against the most common 6.5" circular saw with the Flex inline circular saw, so let's get after it. What happened here? Who won?
My lumber hit the floor first by far.
Yeah, what happened to you?
Disaster. The saw blade couldn't get through, had to flip the board. The cut looks horrible.
Man, so let's talk about it. Your first time using a 6.5" inline saw because it's the world's first and only, right? So how was it, how did it feel in your hands?
I mean, the lightweight with the balance and the power, the combination is just incredible. I've never seen anything like it.
One clear winner, it's Flex.
How about this Flex 24-volt inline 6.5" circular saw? Brushless motor is in the back. It is a belt-driven design. Look how narrow and thin it is. Dust collection up here, rotated all the way around. 2 9/16 depth of cut. You've got a rafter hook, folds flat. It'll just blast through. Point the dust where you need it. So you can easily cut through a 3x with the 2 9/16 depth. You can also kick it to 45 degrees and you've got an 1 9/16 depth of cut. Therefore, you can rip a 2x on a 45. I'm using a 5 amp hour battery with a bar gone. No problem at all. Been checking with the dust collection on this saw. You, of course, point it wherever you need it. Woo! Haha, that's awesome.
The circular saw might just be the first tool that any pro buys because it's the must-have saw, right? The 7 1/4 circular saw, it's been around for years, but let's talk to Joe and Mike here about your experience with circular saws and what you're looking for in the tool.
As a plumbing contractor with the circular saw, we'd be cutting blocking and plywood and things for backing for our showers, tubs, ADA accessories, things like that.
Okay, so you want to make sure you can get through the 2x material, lickety split, right? Rip some plywood.
Time is money, absolutely.
Right, so it's all about getting the job done. That's why you show up for work every day. And so here's a great way to improve your job site experience. I'm talking about the Flex 24 volt, 7 1/4 circular saw. It's got amazing power thanks to the 24 volt sensor-free brushless motor. It's gonna spin the blade at about 5,800 RPMs, cuts 3x lumber in a single pass, bevels 0 to 56. The magnesium footplate and guard make it lighter weight and super durable. As far as the runtime on it, you're gonna be able to cut about 520 2x4s on the included 8 amp hour battery, and check this out. This guy, not only will it cut a lot of lumber, but the recharge time is so fast. We're talking a 1 hour recharge time with an 8 amp hour battery. That's gonna be about 50% faster than any other circ saw out on the job site. So let's talk about a competition here, right? Because we gotta put it head to head with the most popular circ saw out on the market right now. And we're gonna talk about the Rip Cut. We're gonna go through a stack of 1/2-inch plywood, 5 deep, and may the best saw win. That sounded like money, lumber hitting the floor. So who won?
I got killed.
Did you? How bad?
I would say about 15, 20 seconds. And you add that up, that's a lot of time.
Absolutely. Well, how'd it feel in your hand, man?
Oh, felt great.
Yeah, because I mean, you're a framer, you're using the 7 1/4 all day, every day. So compare it to what you use, I mean, usually versus this.
Right now, everything is corded. So feeling this power, I thought it was plugged in.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so how would this change your life on the job site if you had, in your words, all the power of corded, but now suddenly you're portable?
First thing is you can work everywhere without having to route a cord. It saves so much time. And cords, they get covered in mud. You roll them up, they get heavier, it gets a mess. You work, 12 months out of a year, dealing with all kinds of weather. And so do your tools and so do your cords. So taking the cords out of the equation, you're cordless.
Right, and sometimes, I mean, you're actually tethered to a generator or to power with the cord, and so now you got a cut man down below, you got to kind of keep bringing the lumber back and forth to make sure it fits with corded. You're free to roam about the job site.
Yep, you're a one-man crew. You're good.
Wow, getting the same amount of work done.
That's right.
All right, and that's what it's all about. So we've seen Joe use the tools here. Let's see how he did with them on a job site.
Good morning, welcome to the job site. As you can see, these are our buildings, so if you're ever in Wisconsin, see any apartments like this, most likely we built them. We do about 75 to 90 a year. Today I'd like to demonstrate the power of the Flex circular cordless saw. Got my sheets of plywood marked. I'm gonna bury it. Let's see how many sheets of plywood it goes through and how smooth the cut is. Great saw. The power is unbelievable. The way it cuts through all these sheets, so smooth, no snags or hang-ups. The cut doesn't look like a wave, it's nice and straight. And the best part of all, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sheets of plywood. My next stack I have to go through is already scribed for me. So I can just go through and keep on ripping.
Over the last 2 years, as ProTool Reviews has tested dozens of cordless circular saws head-to-head, models are split decisively into 2 categories, standard and advanced.
Based on our early testing, Flex's first generation 7¼ inch brushless circular saw jumps straight into the advanced side of the group. Its cutting performance is excellent, and the tool competes with the top saws we've tested. We're gearing up to put this one on our official test track, and right now it's looking really competitive.
You can see that Flex went with a traditional blade-right design that helps this tool feel very natural for anyone used to a corded sidewinder style saw. They also shaved some weight by using a magnesium blade guard and footplate.
With circular saws, we look for a clear line of sight to the blade, and Flex did a great job of giving you good access to the cut line with an extra set of notches near the blade. Those notches are all spot on as well.
The depth of cut is worth noting as well. You can cut up to 2 5/8 inches deep. That's enough to get through a 3x in a single pass if you use that material. If you're ripping wood, that's 5 sheets of 1/2 inch plywood or 3 sheets of 3/4 inch subfloor. And it's not just capacity. No matter what material is on your plate for the day, this Flex 24-volt circular saw has the power to muscle through it.
Flex also got the ergonomics right. The main handle fits comfortably in your hand, and the front handle is just the right size to give you a secure grip without being too big.
Be sure to check back at ProToolReviews.com and our YouTube channel as we roll out this and other Flex 24-volt reviews.
A reciprocating saw is arguably one of the most useful tools on the job site because it can do both things, both destruction or construction, right? Making way for progress either way. So let's talk to the guys about how it fits into your life. So Joe, first you're a framer. When do you use a reciprocating saw?
Using a recip saw comes in handy all the time, mostly for deconstruction, but it is, cutting out door plates, fixing mistakes, which always happen. And homeowners come through the house and walk through and take a look at it. You want things to look nice, so it's a great tool for fixing mistakes. I love the recip saw.
Okay, how about you, Mike?
A recip saw is really a plumber's best friend. It's a multi-purpose tool. We use it from anything from cutting pipe, any type of pipe, to cutting our hangers, rod, etc.
All right, well, let me tell you about a game changer when it comes to recip saws, because right now, the Flex 24-volt is the industry leader, hands down. Why is that? Well, because of the power of this tool. 24-volt sensor-free brushless motor, fastest cutting saw with a 1 1/4 inch stroke at 3,000 strokes per minute. 40% less vibration due to shock shield vibration suppression. It has linear and orbital, a switch that just will delineate between both depending on the job at hand. And look at this. You know the saw blade always gets hot, and when it's worn down and ready for a new one, it just pops right out like that. Put a new blade in, assuming this guy is cool. It's a one-stop shop. So easy. And so what we're gonna do in this demo is we're gonna pit this 24-volt Flex against what is one of the most popular recip saws on the job site. And the task at hand is to cut through 2-inch black pipe with 10-pound weights suspended from each saw. Why would we do that? Because you've all used recip saws. You know, a lot of times it's the user that's really dictating the speed of the cut. With this, we want to make sure it's completely neutral. So by suspending 10-pound weights from each of one of the saws, the users, that's Joe and Mike, will be just kind of along to guide the tool. And so at the end of it, obviously, the best tool will win. Playing of the pipe on the floor tells me the demo's done, but who won?
Flex as usual.
Let's talk about the experience. In hand, how did it feel for you?
It was great. The vibration was way down compared to other tools, which is nice and safe for the worker, and it also cuts through quicker.
Okay, and so you've used both corded and battery powered on the job site. How would you just kind of basically compare this to the corded tools you've used?
Same or more power than a corded tool, with the convenience of being able to use a battery-operated tool and carry it around with you wherever.
What about you? How did that feel?
This is a bumpy ride. I looked over and I could see how smooth he was going, and just hearing his pipe hit the ground before mine,
by a long shot. So Flex, the winner in this demo, but we've got another one for you. And this is gonna demonstrate not the power of Flex, but something that really makes this tool so special.
Tools give off a vibe, set the tone for the day. This past 2 weeks, Going cordless was actually, it was difficult because you just don't think it's there. Up until I used the flex tools, I didn't know there was such power in a cordless tool. We spend 15 minutes at the beginning of every workday rolling out cords, 15 minutes at the end of the day rolling up cords. The time you would save in a year, do the math. My boss is gonna love it.
As promised, a demo that's gonna show you what makes the Flex 24-volt recip saw so special. We've already established in the head-to-head demo the power of this saw versus what is one of the most popular saws on the job site. But imagine this as you watch this demo. You're the person holding the tool all day, every day, making cut after cut after cut. While you watch this, I want you to think, which tool would I rather be holding on to just based on ease of use? Ready? As Joe said in the head-to-head demo, this tool here, the popular one on the job site, is a bit of a rocky road cutting through things, whereas the Flex obviously has much less vibration. So I think we can all assume and agree now that there is a new king of recip saws, and the brand is Flex.
Recip saw, compact, powerful, has features that would only be found in a much bigger footprint, in a much bigger saw. I love the idea of being able to throw this into orbital for faster, more aggressive cutting through wood. Here's another time-saving feature. Look at this. You ready? Watch closely. It's gonna happen so quick. Boom. One touch insertion. Once that bit's released, the blade clamp stays in the open position until you insert your blade again. And these are little time-saving innovations that will compound over years of use to save you time on the job, allowing you to make more money. This is the thing, maybe the guys from the neighborhood didn't realize, that if you have the right tools, if you invest in your company, in yourself, that you will be more productive, get more done, have more happy clients. Isn't that what we all want as contractors and small business owners? I know I do. How about you, Barnaby?
Let's check in with Tim at Shop Tool Reviews.
Hi, I'm Tim with Shop Tool Reviews. Now we got the 24-volt brushless recip saw from Flex in, and this thing is just a beast. It will rip through just about anything, in fact, anything we threw it at. It has a 1 1/4 inch stroke. You can have it in the straight stroke as well as in the orbit mode to easily switch that. So if you're cutting through wood, obviously you can put it in the orbit mode, and if you're wanting more of a straight cut through steel, things like that, you can have it in the straight mode as well. You also have a keyless blade change, so you can easily, with one hand, be able to eject those bits as well as install the bits as well. Just shove the blade straight in and it's gonna automatically lock that into place. You also have an adjustable shoe with the button at the bottom. You can press that button and be able to move that shoe in and out wherever you need it to control your depth of cut. It also includes the shock shield vibration control. So when you're cutting this, a lot of times with reciprocating saws, they like to shake and drive you nuts as you're cutting something. Well, the internal mechanism in this will actually absorb a lot of that. Actually up to 40%. We cut through some LVL, we cut the fender off a truck, and it accomplished the task very easily on both of these. In addition to the stellar performance of the recip saw, you also get a rafter hook, so you can hang this, whether it be on a fender of a truck like we did, or on a rafter, ceiling joist, floor joist, what have you. You also get a trigger lock here. Now back to the face-off.
Whether you're doing something as artful as finished carpentry or something as usual as cutting a sink into a countertop, necessarily you're gonna reach for a jigsaw. And this is the Flex D-handle jigsaw. Amazing power thanks to the 24-volt sensor-free brushless motor. It's got 4 speeds plus auto speed control. What that's gonna do at the press of a button is react to the pressure you're putting forward on the saw and speed the blade up to match the job you're asking it to do. and one-touch blade ejector. It is a game changer. Also a cut line blower, LED light, and the dual roller guide will support the blade for accuracy. So what we're gonna be doing here, Joe, putting that in your hands. First of all, what does it feel like to you?
Feels nice.
Feels nice, yeah, it's very ergonomic. And watch how he puts the blade in here. It's simple, just pop it right in. So what we've done is stacked up 1/2-inch plywood, and he's gonna be cutting an arch in an entryway here. So go to it and give us your reaction after the fact. Another job well done, sir. So let's talk about the experience. How did it feel in hand?
As I was making my cut, I could feel the power. It felt good. I just had a feeling with the tool that, staying on my line, it was very easy. It wasn't like bogging up or jamming it all or binding, and made it for a nice cut.
Okay, and when it does come time to change out the blade, I mentioned that there is a quick eject on this. Why don't you demonstrate this to us? Because that is such a cool feature. Boom, it's out. And then we saw how easy it was for him to put the blade in. So another problem solver. And this too is something that a guy that I know remarked upon about this. He said, I do a lot of delicate surface cutting, and this is such a bonus to have a saw that sits up without the shoe or the plate being down where it could mar. So you had a pretty hefty piece of wood that you were cutting through, right? The plywood. Let's talk about the experience.
Very smooth, very powerful. The easiest cut I've ever made with a jigsaw.
Wow, that's saying something, right?
Yeah, it is.
So there's a lot to talk about here with the Flex D handle, but I guess at the end of the day, the way to sum it all up is, when it comes to D handle jigsaws, Flex, it's what's next. You saw what happened with the tool here in the hands of the pros. Now let's check in with the folks at Tools in Action and see what they think.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Today we are here because of Flex. This is our first look at the new Flex 24-volt lineup. We are going to check these tools out, but we wanted to give you guys just first impressions of what we think of them right away. Jigsaw. Check out this jigsaw, Eric. A rubber overmold. I'm loving that. 4 speeds plus an automatic. What does an automatic do for you?
Basically allows you to go slow, and as it needs more power, it will ramp it up on its own.
Right, and for the professional, not only do you need power, but you need control. Why? Because that's your work. That's your craftsmanship,
that's
right?
Your game.
Yeah, if you're going in there with some jigsaw that's just all over the place, chattering, destroying things, you can't do that. You're working on a finished product, and if you damage that finished product, that's just more work for you. So far, I'm loving the Flex jigsaw.
When the time comes to reach for a jigsaw to get the job done, you have a couple choices. You can go with the D handle, or you can go with the barrel grip. The barrel grip by Flex is going to give you better ergonomics, lower center of gravity. Some people prefer it over the D handle, but it goes both ways, right? So let's talk about this tool right here. Super powerful, 24-volt, sensor-free, brushless motor. It's got 4 speeds plus auto speed control. By a press of a button, what it's going to do is start the blade slow, and then as you go into the wood, it's going to rise to the occasion, delivering all the speed you need depending on how hard you're pressing. 3,500 strokes per minute, that's fast. Also, one-touch blade eject. It's got a cut line blower and also LED light. So you can keep your eye on the line, and you want your cut to be perfect, so it's got dual roller guides. It's going to support the blade for that purpose. So here you go, Mike. Watch how easy it is to put the blade in. Hop, it's in, right? Okay, so what we've got here is we're going to be cutting a mantle. We scribed the line because we're imagining it's going to go up against a rock fireplace, right? So let's put it into the wood and see what your experience is like. Wow, That's a man paying attention to detail, because usually a mantelpiece is going to be a pricey piece of wood. You can't afford to make a mistake, right? So let's talk about the experience. How did it feel to you?
Well, the power was unbelievable, but also the accuracy and the low center of gravity of this really made for a nice, accurate cut. So just like you said, I mean, these mantles are expensive, so it's really tough to make a mistake and have to replace it. So this tool did the perfect job.
Okay, it was on auto speed control. Did you feel it speed up as you were leaning into it a little bit?
Absolutely. The more pressure I put on it, the more it sped up. It was kind of reading me, which is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I think we saw, just as a matter of fact, he said, when I'm done cutting, I'm just going to get the blade out. The job is done. Quick eject. What a bonus that is, right?
Great feature.
So at the end of the day, you've got a choice when it comes to jigsaws with Flex. It could be a D handle, it could be the barrel grip. But at the end of the day, your choice is obvious. Flex is what's next. If you were to ask any tradesperson what the most versatile tool is on the job site, hands down, it's going to be the oscillating multi-tool, because there are so many things you can use it for. So let's talk to the pros about what they like and look for in an oscillating multi-tool. Mike, let's start with you.
Yeah, for me in the plumbing world, this is a great tool to notch out 2x4s to get everything ready to run pipe and walls. It'd be safe, efficient, and it would really help move things along.
Okay, how about you?
During door installation, patio installation, and windows, we use a multi-tool for cutting off the shims flush.
Alrighty. And when I was doing some flooring work in the kitchen, I found it to be just a marvel at cutting the jam so you can slide the tile through. Made me look like a pro. So let's talk about the Flex 24-volt oscillating multi-tool. The top features on this make it, in my mind, the industry leader in so many regards. 24-volt sensor-free brushless motor. It's going to give you just unbridled power. But with power comes vibration with most multi-tools, but not this as much because of the shock shield. The user is isolated in large part from the vibration of the tool. And here comes a big moment that is the wow factor for all of us, and that is that when it comes time to get rid of one blade and put another on because they get dull in the course of work, a lot of times you have to monkey around and get it off. This is a one-handed deal, right? You simply flip the lever, comes right off, put it back on, and there you go. The quick blade exchange is a game changer. And of course, it's got an LED light to illuminate the work. But enough talk. Let's talk about the demo. What we're going to be doing is installing a wood and nails blade. That's how it's going to start. And then we're going to go do a multi-tool race, cutting a notch out of wood and then flush cutting 3 nails, and then take the blade back off, putting the tool on the table, and that will be the winner. Let's see how it goes. So, our most intricate head-to-head demo thus far, a multi-step process. But who was the winner?
The Flex.
By how much?
A lot.
A long shot.
Yeah? So let's talk about it, because I imagine starting off with putting the blade on, so much easier with the Starlock quick eject, right?
It's very easy. Very easy, yeah.
As opposed to your experience?
I was stumbling and fumbling, just trying to get it on, tighten it, get the teeth lined up, anchor this down. It was just a total disaster from go.
Okay, and what about the power of the Flex?
The power it's there. It's not corded, cut through the wood. The nails are just as easy.
All right, and because it is an oscillating, vibrating multi-tool, right? That's how the blade is actuated. How about the experience in hand? How did it feel?
Feeling it in my hand, it was not rough at all. It was smooth, little vibration.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How about you?
I felt like I was all over the place. Even when I was getting to the nails, I was kind of going off track with it because of how much vibration it was.
And so, to sum it all up, I guess we could say, well, wait a minute. How come your blade is still on there? Wasn't that part of the competition that you're supposed to take the blade off?
Yeah, well, this was smoking hot, so with this feature, with this old tool, I wasn't able to take the blade off right away.
Huh. So I guess a couple truisms here to finish it up. 1, life is unfair. You got dealt a bad hand with that blade system, right? And 2, Flex is what's next.
Hey, I'm Vance, owner of ECG Construction. I've already fallen in love with the Flex oscillating multi-tool. It is literally vibration-free. It's unbelievably powerful. It's got multiple speeds, and it incorporates the newest blade change technology. The fastest, most secure way to change your oscillating multi-tool blade. All of these features add up to make the user more productive on the job site. And I love that. You know, I'm getting up in years, and no one wants their career cut short because of debilitating injuries. And a lot of times when you do repetitive motions with tools that create vibration, that move up the arms and wrists and hands, you can get carpal tunnel and arthritis, stuff that's gonna take you out of the game. Tools and innovations like this are gonna make sure that you have a longer career, that you're able to provide for your family. And that means a lot to me. How about you, Barnaby?
When you're hanging drywall day in and day out, speed is key because you're getting paid by the sheet you hang, right? And the Flex 24-volt drywall screw gun with magazine is going to be a moneymaker for you. It's got a 24-volt sensor-free brushless motor, amazing speed, 4,500 RPMs. It includes a collated screw magazine attachment, also continuous power lock-on, because when you're going down the run, you don't want to be squeezing the trigger every time. It's compact design and a tool-free adjustment where, look at that, so easy to turn. So we got a guy over here, his name is Bamadeli. He's been hanging rock for many a day, and we're gonna see what he's using currently, and then also what he thinks about the Flex. What's going on, man?
How you doing?
Doing all right. So is that the tool you usually hang rock with?
This is typically what I use.
All right, so let's go through it. What do you like about it?
Well, since the advent of these guns, it stopped me from pushing screws through drywall, right? The challenge is that when you're trying to get into a corner really, really tight, you don't have much space to work with. And the tighter the gun can get to the corner, the better it is. Otherwise, I have to turn this thing at an angle, push my screw at an angle, makes it hard for the people coming behind me doing mud and tape.
Right, because one edge is proud, and then they're taping it, and they're going like, what's that dimple? Then bam, 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 when they're mudding it, and they're going, Bamadeli, get back here.
And then I'm not so proud, right? So
there you go. So let's try this guy right here. This is Flex 24-volt.
Yeah. Much better, much closer, and they're actually proud. So this is a lot sleeker, a lot thinner. Being able to turn it is nice because I can get flush in tight corners and weird spaces now.
Well, how would it work with the tool you're using?
Well, what you typically have to do, and we've, come to live with this, is you pull it out and then you line it up with the springs and make sure you don't hit anything and try and get this thing back in there.
Right.
Hopefully.
See, that looks easy.
I'm typically better at this.
Wow.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, just the nature of the beast, though, I'm sure, especially on the job site, there's mud, there's dust. I mean, that's got to get harder over time as opposed to easier.
If it can save me 20% on the job from doing a whole house, 2 stories, I mean, you move from job to job to job, and as you said before, speed is money when you're hanging drywall.
All righty, and I'll tell you what, if you are hanging rock and it's all about the dollar, this is a safe bet right here. We're talking about the Flex.
Be my choice.
You saw it here, so now let's see what the pros think at Kruger Construction.
Hey Barnaby, thanks for having me on here. So some of you may recognize me off of Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or TikTok as Kruger Construction. That's our construction company that we've had now for 10 years. I've been in the trades like a lot of you right out of high school. It's almost been 20 years for me now. And Flex is having me on here to talk a little bit about the experience we've had with their tools. One of the tools that we've been using a lot on site is the cordless drywall screw gun. It's got lots of power, it's lightweight, and it's quiet compared to the competitors. One of the things that we noticed right off the start is how flat the top is and how much extra length you have on the nose cone. This is gonna make it a lot easier to get into the corners. We get asked all the time how easy it is to take the nose cone off and put it back on. On this gun, it's been really nice. The depth change is also really nice on this gun. It's got a bright light on it, and the trigger is really nice. It's a really, really nice drywall gun to use. We've used most of them, and this is definitely one of our favorites.
that's it. That's the Flex drywall screw gun. Pretty impressive. It's smooth, it's light. I love the new batteries with the battery gauge on both sides. Adjustability, of course, 360-degree rotation. And then your depth gauge right on the side. Knurled. Everything's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Of course, you can pull it off, change it out for the regular nose cone here. But overall, so far, giving it a go. Smooth, it's very small, very narrow, as you can see. I like it a lot.
If you cut out drywall for a living, you know it's a dusty job, especially overhead when you're trying to cut in can lights. It's flying everywhere. Well, this tool right here, the Flex 24-volt brushless drywall cutout tool, is a game changer because it's got a 24-volt sensor-free brushless motor. The speed is phenomenal, 28,000 RPMs. And when we talk about dust, getting it out of your face, putting it where you want it, it's got an adjustable airflow vent. It's got a 1/4 and an 1/8 inch collet. So if you're cutting different media, you can put in a different bit easily. Speaking of which, an onboard wrench. So you don't have to go fishing around your toolbox hoping to find it. And it's got an LED light. So you are in a tight space, you're seeing exactly what you're trying to cut. So let's put it to the test. Is that your tool of choice usually?
That's what I typically use.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is give you this guy, all right? Okay. And I want you to put it to work, cut out that can, and let me know how it goes. Right off the bat, I'm saying that was pretty fast.
Nice.
Yeah, tell me about the experience.
So I have big hands. And for me, I didn't notice how big this tool was until I picked that one up. How sleek and slim it is really easy to handle.
Okay, and so what about the dust? Because I mean, if you're overhead, it's a snowstorm usually coming down, right?
Look, no matter what, you're gonna get some dust on you, but I'd rather not have it blown in my face. When it covers up your glasses, even though I like to work blindfolded, you can't see anything. So if it blows it away from me, that helps me tremendously. I don't have to do this every 5 minutes. I don't have to clean it off every 5 minutes. It saves time.
Yeah, right off the bat, I'm looking at your glasses here. I see no powdered sugar on there at all, right?
That's unusual.
Clean. Absolutely.
That's unusual.
Okay, well, hate to do this to you, man, but I'm gonna put this guy, well, actually keep this guy, and cut out a can with that and show me how that one works. Compare the experience.
Yeah, that's what I'm used to. Man, attention to detail, that's all I can say. With this tool, look, first of all, it's slimmer and sleeker. I love the fact that it's got a wrench built right into it, so I don't have to look through my toolbox every time I want to change the bit. The fact that somebody thought to blow the dust away from my face is something that I wouldn't have thought of. Now I don't have to breathe that in all day or clean my glasses 20 times when I'm putting up, cutting out 100 cans. So that's perfect for me. Again, attention to detail. The less detail I have to spend on my tool, the more attention to detail I can pay to the job.
All right, also gonna give you this tool back?
No, I'm good with this.
You're good with that? All right, well, hey, that's how it's probably gonna go on the job site once people wrap their hand around the Flex and see what it's capable of. The choice is gonna be clear. It's gonna be Flex.
Most product development companies try and give you exactly what you had before, but just a little bit better. It's rare these days when you find a technology that can give you something that you wouldn't expect to get in that technology, and you surely wouldn't expect that from a power tool company. Whether it is the bidirectional fan that blows, dust away from your face, or this superior vibration dampening technology that's being used, or what seems to be a step change in the use of power technology here, I wouldn't have expected that from a power tool company.
There comes a time in every pro tradesman's life where they're going to be doing some cutting, some grinding, some surfacing, or polishing. And in order to get that job done, necessarily you got to reach for the angle grinder, right? So let's talk to the pros about their experience with the angle grinder. Start with you, Joe. As a framer, I know I used to be a concrete guy, and you guys followed us to the job site. You probably have to fix a lot of arm mistakes before you can start setting walls, right?
Concrete guys have a tough job. Footings are never perfect and rebar sticks out, so to cut it off or doing the brick mold around the garages, using a grinder to surface out the concrete to make it perfect, because nothing is. But using a grinder is definitely helpful and comes in handy.
Okay, and how about you? What's your experience with grinders, and what are you looking for in a grinder?
Yeah, in plumbing, we use grinders a lot to cut rod, to cut all of our accessories, to hang our pipe, but we also use grinders to polish an area or get it ready for a shower base, for example. What we're looking for in grinders is, speed, power, durability, and convenience.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, if grinders are your area of interest, it only makes sense to give a good hard look to Flex, because we are the inventor of the angle grinder. 100 plus years ago, we invented the game of grinding, and we have a robust line of angle grinders, so check it out. You see 4 of them right here. The one that we're gonna feature specifically in a demo in a few minutes here is going to be the paddle switch variable speed. But let me tell you about all that's going on with these grinders. They're powered by a 24-volt sensor-free brushless motor. It allows 25 to 50% faster cutting speed than other industry leaders. Variable speed control, you can adjust the speed to match the application for optimal precision for the accessory used. Also, I've held a lot of grinders in my time, and it's almost like putting on a shoe where sometimes you go, nope, doesn't feel right. I think when you wrap your hands around the Flex, you're gonna see that it is so ergonomic. It's slimmer than most, and it just feels good in your hand. As far as performance on the job site, with all of that power, there's gonna be some vibration. This is gonna ease your pain with the shock shield handle. It helps to limit vibration for maximum control. It's got advanced anti-kickback technology, meaning it'll stop it on a dime the second it feels some sort of torsional movement. And popping the battery out here, I'm gonna show you something that's really convenient. Look at this, toolless one-step guard adjustment. So you're not reaching for something and monkeying around and trying to get it right. Simply dial it in. Next up, what we're gonna be doing is putting the tool to the test. We're gonna cut through number 4 rebar with a 5-inch cutting wheel. Let's see how that goes. How did it all go?
I was at probably, I would say, twice as fast, easily.
Really? All right, so tell me about the experience.
Smooth, it didn't kick back at all. I didn't have to apply too much pressure. I let the tool do the work, and the rest is history.
Yeah, so on the job site, you use both corded and battery-powered angle grinders, correct?
Correct.
So tell me about this versus, say, the corded experience. What does this bring to the party that you'd like to leave behind with corded?
The power with this is basically the same as a corded tool, so now you don't have to deal with the inconveniences of a cord, bringing it around wherever you're going, stringing it out, having to move your power source. This is as simple as it gets with the battery with that power.
Yeah, and these guys are really known as energy consumptive tools, right? So a great hallmark of Flex is 25% longer runtime, 50% faster charge time. So it seems like a win-win all the way around.
Absolutely.
And I think I can sum it up by saying Flex, the obvious winner. If you're a fabricator and your job in life is to put holes into hard stone surfaces for plumbing, you would probably never use a battery-powered angle grinder to do the job, because heretofore they just did not have the power necessary to get the job done. But with the Flex 24-volt side switch angle grinder, it's possible because of the power of this machine. 10,000 RPMs, which is about 1,000 RPMs greater than any other battery-powered angle grinder. So here's the demo. What we're gonna be doing is putting a 2.5-inch hole into granite. This is 3 cm granite, so tough stuff. And Joe, I'm gonna step away here for dust purposes. You got your protection on, so show us how it works. when the dust settles, it's obvious that that tool had all it took and then some to get the job done, huh?
It sure did.
Alrighty, so when you put it on the granite and pulled the trigger, what'd you think about it?
Granite's a tough material. When I put it on the granite before I even started making the hole, I was thinking it was gonna be tough, difficult, with some rough spots. As I was going through making the hole, it was smooth the whole way.
Yeah, it seemed like relentless power. It never the sound of a bog, anything. It was just like, just boring right through it. How about the vibration?
Very little vibration. Not
Okay.
what I expected.
Yeah, it's got the shock shield handle, and so what that's gonna do is minimize the vibration for you, the user, to make that job, if possible, a little more pleasurable, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what? For all the people, all the fabricators that might have had experiences trying it previously with a battery-powered tool, I think it is now clear that Flex is what's next.
I'm Tim Johnson with Shop Tool Reviews. Flex sent us the 24-volt brushless 5-inch angle grinder. So this will accept 4.5 and 5-inch wheels, whether you're cutting or grinding. One of the unique features on this grinder is the toolless guard. So I can easily index this guard around to several different positions without pushing any buttons, without grabbing a tool or anything. Just rotate it one way and it will click into place, indexing in several different positions. I can also even remove this by turning it around to the front side and pulling it off. Obviously, you have to remove the wheel to do so. It also has a spindle lock right here at the top, and you even get some vibration isolation built into the handle. One thing I really love about a grinder is a paddle switch. So I love seeing a paddle switch grinder. It's just kind of preference. Others like a slide lock, which by the way, Flex also makes a slide lock in this as well. But another unique feature on this is not only is it a paddle switch, but you can also control the speed. So you have push buttons down here on the bottom where you can actually select the speed that you want. So that's setting your max speed, and then your paddle switch is turning that on and off. Now, it's one thing about just cutting through rebar, cutting through 1/4-inch steel, something like that with a slice wheel. Easy to do that. Most grinders will be able to handle that. But it's another thing when you have to put your 4.5-inch grinder, 5-inch grinder to the test by beveling some 1/4-inch or 3/8-inch steel, as we're doing right here. We easily put a 45-degree bevel on this 3/8-inch thick steel. Truly impressive power with this 4.5-inch grinder. The 24-volt battery and the brushless motor really provides that power needed to turn that wheel through these tough situations. Another nice feature on this is the removable stainless steel mesh that keeps particulate from floating through your tool, because it's pulling air through the bottom of this tool and cooling everything inside it and dispensing it out the front of this tool. So to have those stainless steel mesh guards there that you can actually pull off, blow those out, keep those clean, so that your tool is staying cool and staying clean. This 5-inch 24-volt grinder is very impressive. Back to you, Barnaby.
When you need to set a fastener into concrete, you first need to make a hole into the concrete, right? And to make a hole, you need a rotary hammer, because it's tough stuff. So let's talk to Joe and Bamadelli right here about what you guys are looking for in a rotary hammer. Joe?
I'm looking for power and comfort.
Okay, yeah, it's a tough job, and be as comfortable as you can, right? How about you?
Yeah, for me, look, my background is electrical engineering, so I'm always thinking about the power output of a tool and whether or not the tool is actually smooth and going through the material. So if I can't tell the difference between the tool jamming up or whether or not I've hit a piece of material that's too tough, then I don't know what I'm working with. So when the tool is smooth, the only thing I have to do is worry about getting through the surface.
All right, so what you're saying is you're looking for power and performance, and Flex offers 2 SDS Plus rotary hammers. You've got the 1-inch and the 7/8 inch. Let's talk about the 1-inch. 1.9 foot-pounds of impact force. That's driven by a 24-volt sensor-free brushless motor, constant speed control at 980 RPMs. Also, really important with this sort of work, shock shield vibration suppression, so it's going to be easier on you as the user. And an LED light that's going to illuminate the work in front of you, because if you're making holes, you want to make sure they're going in the exact right spot. So, I've got a demo for you. We're going to be driving a 3/8-inch SDS Plus bit through spec concrete at 5,000 PSI. sounded like some tough work going on out here. So who won the race?
Flex did.
By how much?
Took him about 5 times longer.
Really, that much?
A long time.
All right, so tell me about using the tool. What did it feel like to you?
Well, before the competition, it felt like David going against Goliath. After the competition was done, I had the brains, he had the bronze, but it was a tool. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and what about you? I mean, you're operating what is, I guess, one of the most popular ones on the job site here. How did it feel in your hand? What were you thinking?
You know, I kept looking over and looking at the lack of vibration that was happening on that side versus my side, having to push so much. And you always worry about breaking one of these drill bits, right? And I looked over and said to myself, I'm probably not gonna break a bit with that one. This one, completely different story.
Kind of a rocky ride?
Usually is.
Yeah, absolutely. So would you characterize that as much smoother? I mean, you're watching each other as you're doing it, right?
Yeah, I saw the struggle bus over there. I had a lot of power, very little vibration. The control, it was great.
All right, well, hey, you know what? Just a fair fight, right? I'm gonna run some specs by you real quick just so you know what happened here. Again, this is one of the most popular hammers on the job site today, and this is the Flex 24 volt. We're running 3/8" SDS plus bits, going through spec concrete, 5,000 PSI, 5 amp hour batteries. And I'm here to say the best tool won?
Always.
Flex.
Another tool that I want to talk to you guys about is the rotary hammer. So we did quite a bit of demo with this. We haven't made a lot of holes with it, but I can say the vibration on it is very low. It's got a nice balance to it. It's got decent weight. It was just really nice to use. We got quite a bit of runtime out of a 5 amp battery. We just used it straight for this demo, for this chipping, and yeah, really impressed with it. It seems like it's gonna be a great tool and be able to take a lot of abuse. Well, that's it for coverage from us. I gotta say thanks, Barnaby, for having us. Back to the face-off.
My name is Eddie Torres. My family owns 3 properties, and I'm really the property manager for those 3 properties. I used to also do construction for the city. We had mixers that we had to use to mix glue for the sewer pipes.
There's no doubt mixing mud is a chore, right? Darn close to a really hard workout when you're standing over that bucket. The longer you do it, the more uncomfortable it gets. So this is gonna be a game changer for you if you're lucky enough to be the person that's designated to mix something up on the job site, right? It is the Flex 24 volt mud mixer. 24 volt, sensor-free, brushless motor, plenty of muscle, superior dual handle design. When you grab a hold of this, you're gonna say to yourself, that feels right. And then you can even dial it in electronically so it's fine-tuned. Speaking of speed, 530 RPMs. And when it comes time to switch out the paddle, you got a 1/2 inch keyed chuck so it's easy to operate and hold super tight because you don't want that getting away from you, right? Also, a lock-on switch because you just don't want to be holding on for dear life when you're mixing mud. You just want to relax a little bit and let the tool do the work. Okay, so let's put the tool to work and see how it compares to what is one of the most popular mixers on the job site right now. We've got Joe and Eddie here, so start spinning. Okay, so switch. Okay, Joe, so let's talk about the comparison.
Starting out with this one, just the feel. You know, I got punished for the job coming over here. The feel is very comfortable. Something I wouldn't mind doing compared to something that I wouldn't mind doing.
Okay, so let's compare the experience between this one and working with the Flex.
It's like you're behind of a steering wheel. It's just a design that you're more familiar with and comfortable with. Easier to grip, easier to use, easier to just maintain. This here is just clunky and it's tough after a while, and no comparison.
All right, so if you guys had the duty, say, to mix mud on the job site and somebody said, hey, you can either use this tool or that tool, what's the vote?
The Flex.
Hands down the Flex.
All right, so I guess if you're ever just like the finger points at you and it's like you say, why do I have to mix the mud today? Ask them, hey, can I do it with a Flex? I think it's a much better choice. We just saw a ton of incredible 24-volt flex tools. And to round out the lineup, we've got the job site radio, the wet dry vac, floodlight, and a full line of attachments and accessories to complement the tools. So let's get into it. The job site radio, dual loud speakers with bass boost, so you're gonna get some thump. Also, Bluetooth, 150-foot range on that, so no matter where you are in the proximity, it's not gonna be fading in and out off your phone. And then there is the wet dry vacuum. It is more powerful than the most popular wet dry vac that is currently being used by pros on the job site with 41 CFM, a HEPA filter, and a 1.6 gallon capacity. No matter what you're trying to pick up as you're working, it's gonna take it. As far as the two lights, we've got a flashlight that's a handheld with 300 lumens, and the floodlight that has 2,000 lumens, and it's diffused light, so it's gonna bathe the area in illumination. A 360-degree aluminum reinforced roll cage. It's gonna take a lump on the job site, as all things do, right? Saw blades, we're entering into the active speed carbide area right here. We've got the 7 1/4 and the 6 1/2, and it's got active speed tooth design. So this is gonna tear through the wood for both framing and also forming. Also, anti-stick coating and a thin kerf, so it's gonna take the wood and exhaust it so you can keep pressing forward. As far as drilling and driving bits go, we've got the Flex Zone and the Stack Pack. So what we've got right here is the torsion impact bits. Why are they torsion impact? Because our tools at 24 volts with brushless, sensor-free motors, that is going to be delivering amazing power to this, what I would call the business end of your tool. And so these bits are designed to take that power and transfer it to your work surface to get the job done without breaking as lesser bits would. And when you're done with the bit, what you have to do is put them someplace, right? And so this is the awesome thing, Flex Stack Pack. See how I popped it off the stack right here? These are all connected. Just press the button to do that. Press this button. These can all flip in and out. Everything is gonna stay snug, and then when you're done with it, snap it back on and you're ready to go. Oscillating multi-tool, we've got the accessories for that as well with really, really tough blades. We've got, for the recip saw, we've got the destruction blades here that are good for wood and metal, and we also have a carbide blade that's gonna tear through cast and stainless as well. We also have blades that are designed specifically for our recip saw. They are demolition blades. They are bimetal, meaning that what they'll do is they'll get through both wood and nails because you never know what lies behind the wall, right? 2, we've got a carbide blade that is gonna give you the ability to cut through both cast, which is super tough and many times really old and hard, and also stainless. On the Jigsaw side of things, we have high speed and high carbon. So again, no matter what the job is in front of you, these blades will get the job done. So you add it all up, we've got the awesome tools and also the awesome accessories and the job site enhancements that you need to get the job done right. So there you have it. Time after time, test after test, Flex comes through. Now I want to stress that the head-to-head competitions were done using the top competitors' tools that matched up as closely as possible with the Flex tools. This is a big day for the power tool industry and a big day for Flex. Advances of this magnitude only come from making bold changes. The Flex 24-volt platform delivers 20% more power, 25% longer runtime, and up to 50% faster charging. And remember, every Flex tool, battery, and charger purchased and registered now through December 31st, 2021 gives you a Flex Founder's lifetime warranty. Now, what about those awesome giveaways? The full Flex 24-volt lineup and the grand prize of a brand new Ford F-150 truck. Head to flexpowertools.com/faceoff and complete the entry form to be entered into the drawing. At Flex, we're inspired by the strength, performance, and ingenuity that we see in the pros, and we're working hard to create innovative products for the job site that deliver the next generation of power and work as hard as the people holding those tools. We look forward to seeing what you will do with the new Flex 24-volt lineup and are looking forward to bringing even more innovative products to you in 2022 and beyond. Whatever the next job calls for, you're going to be more than ready. So thanks for joining us. See you on the job site. It's time for what's next.
I really have been impressed with how every single competition, when we were really competing, the Flex tools came out on top. This was no pony show. We really dove in for every single competition, and I feel like I worked a full day, and I'm amazed.
As a commercial contractor, this tool line is perfect. You know, we've got 50 employees. Everything that I've experienced and used today has, you know, both the power, speed, accuracy, and the toughness and reliability. Can't go wrong, and it's definitely a commercial product in my mind.
I wouldn't hesitate in recommending this tool line to anyone because they've already proven in the 5 or 6 tools that I've used how well they work compared to everything else that I've ever expected, and that it's going to last. And then you put the lifetime warranty on top of that, that's kind of a no-brainer.
It's the best cordless system I've ever used. From the impact drills, the reciprocating saw, cutting plywood, I'm done, like, with my corded tools.
Honestly, I would simply say Flex is what's next. It's not in your hands yet, but when it is, you're not gonna let it go.